This intro is dumb. Let's just get it over with. All right. I also don't. Wow. It's already like insane in here, so let's not. Thank you for the sub. Not stall too much. So, okay, these are definitely gonna get muted. Okay. I'm gonna do my very, very best to clear it up and be very concise and to defend nobody except for myself in this situation and my actions, or the reason that I chose to do what I did that day, okay? So, I woke up one morning, I think it was either in June or July. I woke up in July, it doesn't matter. I woke up to messages or something about Nova coming out, baiting a story, and then Adriana was going to write a twit longer about Slick and him sexually assaulting her, or him being a predator, or what have you. I woke Miz up, told him, woke Mitch up, told him. We were all freaking out. Miz said he was going to kick Slick out. And we were freaking out about what was going to happen, right, to Slick here. Slick told me his side of the story. Mitch is friends with Adriana. Miz wanted me and Mitch to go to Adriana's house to talk to her and find out what happened. I wanted to go find out what happened and figure out what was going to happen with Slick. I think that we said like day of or day after that we had gone to Adriana's. So me and Mitch go to Adriana's. I watched her whole stream. There were parts of it that were confusing, which I don't blame her at all for. This is another situation that Adriana's just fucking thrown into. I don't know if she wanted Train to tweet that, but again, she's just like, she's another one. So I don't blame her for there being some confusing things. Originally, she said, and I know a lot of people are saying that I told her not to say anything, which I don't believe is the case. It's been a long time, but she said on her stream she didn't want to come out with it because she didn't want to get the short end of the stick, right? She felt like she was forced into this situation with Nova saying it, but she said on this stream, she was like, I knew I was going to get the short end of the stick if I say something. So we probably had a conversation that was like, are you sure you want to do this? Do you want to say anything, or do you just want to do it anonymously? Something like that, right? That was probably the conversation that I had with her, was like, do you want to do it anonymously, or do you not want to do it at all? She said that she wanted to come out with a statement. She said she wanted to talk about it. She said that she told me about her audience and how there's a lot of young women in her audience, and she felt like it was her responsibility to tell her story. So I said, okay. And her friend in that call, Kyle, was there the day of as well. He mentioned, I told her that day, I was like, as a woman, if this is your story, you should be able to tell it, right? I was fine with her, the twit longer, fine, right. She was going to write a twit longer. And I asked her if she thought that Slick raped her or sexually assaulted her. And at the time, we agreed, or at the time, she said no. So I said, okay, could you include that in your twit longer then? And she said, okay. She still wanted to tell her whole story. She said everything that happened that night in that twit longer. She wrote out what had happened that night. And then she wrote, to be clear, he did not rape or assault me, but his actions did make me uncomfortable. She wrote out the whole twit longer. She showed me it. And I said, thank you for including that, because I didn't want added speculation to what was happening with Slick. I didn't think of it as a rape, or honestly, I didn't think of it as a sexual assault at the time, the way we were talking about it, what had happened. And she said that she didn't feel like it was like that. And was there a power dynamic in that situation? Because I'm a bigger streamer, yes. And I feel bad about that. It wasn't my intention to introduce that to the situation. I wasn't trying to impose that on her. I wasn't trying to pressure her, or like force her into saying something. But did it naturally exist? Yes. But all I went there for was to ask her if she had been raped or sexually assaulted. She said no. I asked her if she can include that. And that's like pretty much all that happened. I am going to show these because I think that it helps a little bit. This is from when it had happened. July 6th, I asked if she was okay. She said, yeah, she's hanging in there. I said, I'm fine. Thank you for talking to us today. I'm sorry, talking to us being me, Mitch. I'm sorry for everything that you had to deal with today, me, Mitch, and Ms. And I said, I'm sorry for what happened with Slick. I know what it's like to be assaulted, feel triggered, blah, blah, blah. To deal with those feelings in the public eye is a lot. And she said, thank you so much for helping me with this. It's just a lot of anxiety. I was there with her while she was writing it, but it was not like I'm not like holding a gun to this girl's head. I'm not like trying to pay her off. I'm not blackmailing her into saying what I want her to say. But I mean, I don't know if I'm making sense. It's really, really hard to see if I'm making sense to any of you. I feel like I'm blind right now because I obviously can't read this chat. But that's where that ended. So we cleared up, or we talked about what had happened. I asked if she was going to share a story, if she could include that. She did. She showed it to me. She tweeted it. I did not know how much it's affected her at this point in her, like for this long in her life. I didn't know that Slick messaged people every time she hung out with somebody to get her to get blacklisted. I moved out of that house like a month or a couple months after this had happened. And I've gone out a little bit more lately, but at that time was not in the party scene at all. Like at all. So we've always just been in separate circles. I'm sorry for inserting myself into any of this in the first place. I'm sorry for what it's done to Adriana, truly. Like, I will talk to Adriana off stream about this as well. I am sorry about what's happened because of it. I've been very separated from all of that for a very long time now. I've just been like living by myself, doing my own thing. But this whole thing really sucks. It's a crazy week here on Twitch. But if there's any of you in there, can you tell me if that makes sense? If there's anybody here, okay. The gist of it is, I woke up. We all thought that Slick was gonna be, gonna have to move out and that everything was ending. Slick was my best friend at the time. I went over to try to figure out what happened. We talked about what happened. I wanted to clear up what happened, and I asked if she could include that it wasn't rape or sexual assault, because at the time she said that it wasn't. But she wanted to share that it made her uncomfortable, and she wanted to share her story. She did. And she tweeted it. But that was the end of it, and I'm sorry for the power dynamic that was naturally put in place there. I'm sorry for saying that everything would be okay. Genuinely, I thought that it would be. I didn't know that Slick messaged people, and I don't have control over the social scene like that, like I don't have control over like who gets invited to everything and like who hangs out and who's they're like blacklisted, and I don't have control over that. But I'm sorry that it turned into that. But that's my side of it. Again, I'm not here to defend anybody besides I'm just trying to explain to you what happened that day. I just want everybody to understand that I'm not there, like, blackmailing or holding a gun to her head or saying, like, don't tweet this, tweet that, you know, like, I don't feel like I forced anyone into anything. And I'm just like, God, I feel really bad. I feel really, really bad. And this sucks. And I wish I was never involved in it. And I wish I never went over there. And, I just, yeah. So I'm sorry. And some people are saying that I'm minimizing. I'm sorry if it feels like I'm minimizing. Again, I'm not trying to defend anybody, or anybody's actions or anything. I just want people to understand that I didn't go there on some, like, Operation Undercover cover-up. Okay? It wasn't, like, some, like, you know, it wasn't like that. I don't know. I want to say that I meant well for everyone involved, and that's just, like, I know that's a lot to say, and I know it sounds stupid. So it kind of sucks, but, yeah, that's what happened. And I think that's all I can say. I mean, that's the truth of what happened. You guys can watch Adriana's stream, you know, you can listen to this and you can believe what you want to believe. But that is all that I have to say about it. Again, I'm just really, really sorry to Adriana, for the way that this played out in the past year that I was unaware of. Again, I just, like, didn't know that was a thing. I'm sorry for not talking to her also before I went live, because I know she just ended. I just wanted to go live, like, to clear the air, because I am just, like, under fire, you know, and I really just wanted to go live and clear it. But I will talk to her. I'm sorry for everything, and it's just, like, so unfair that she's gotten roped into these situations multiple times, like the first time how it happened and this time, and that it's unfair that her career has been affected by it. It's unfair that her social life has been affected by it, because you know, she's a victim in this situation, and it's all very sad and very unfortunate, and I'm just really sorry that I was ever involved and that I contributed to her suffering. So yeah, that is my side of the story. Again, want to keep that really quick, and pretty clear and concise. I hope that makes sense to everybody. But that's all I got. That's all I can tell you. Again, cannot defend anybody else. I really can't. So. Except for Mitch. Not that he's really getting shit for it, but Mitch was just kind of there. Mitch didn't do nothing. He was just there. But yeah, that's all that I can say. I think that's it. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry for being involved. I'm sorry for getting involved. I'm sorry to Adriana. I'm sorry about everything that happened. I'm sorry that this is such a mess. I'm sorry that it's piling on to this week on Twitch. I hope that makes sense to you all. I think that's it. I think that's all I have to say. Appreciate it. Bye.